これでも料理には自信があるんだぞ。
その弁当はかぐやにとって人生で初めて見る光景であった。煮物、赤ウインナー、だし巻き卵、ハンバーグ、梅干し、そしてふりかけ。食べたいものをとにかく詰め込んだ、まるで子供の宝物入れのような自由さがかぐやの心を激しく打った。
タコさんウインナー実在していたなんて食べてみたい。でも
それはかぐやのプライドが許さない。
Hey everyone, I am back. It's been a long time since I last uploaded a video. It's been a long time since I last recorded myself cooking for a YouTube video. But I'm moving out of this apartment soon. I want to make a few more recipes in this kitchen before I move to a new apartment. And today we'll be making a bento inspired by President Shirogane from Kaguya-Sama Love is War. As you saw in the scene before, it's a simple homemade meal, nothing too special, too spectacular that stands out. While I will be basing this off of what I saw in the scene, I'm not going to recreate it absolutely exact for two reasons. One, the bento I own and the bento that he has in the anime are different sizes. Mine is like a 2-tier and is skinnier, while his is like wider. And two, I'm not a huge fan of umeboshi paste. Without further ado, let's get started. Hopefully, I'll be able to make a bento that's worthy of Kaguya's praise. We got about half a pound of ground beef here. Just want to break it up in smaller pieces. Ideally, you want ground pork and ground beef mixture, but we just got ground beef for today. Give it a few good twists of ground black pepper, some onion powder, and some garlic powder. We got some panko breadcrumbs here. These are gluten-free panko breadcrumbs. I bought these by mistake, but we'll make it work, I prefer regular panko breadcrumbs, but gluten-free will work for now too. Say a few tablespoons of whole milk, or any milk of your preference if you're lactose intolerant. And finally, 1 egg. You want to beat it before you mix it in there, just so that it's a lot easier to mix and blend in with the rest of the stuff. Dump it in there. And now we get nice and dirty and just mix it all together until completely homogenized. But the whole concept of these bentos is to just make like quick, simple dishes and meals so that you can make it like quickly in the morning or prep ahead of time so you can bring to your lunch or work or to a picnic or to the next Discord call, voice chat, or the next time you watch an anime. You want them kind of small, depending on the size of your bentos. You want about the size of just your palm, like so. Because they will shrink a little bit. Don't make them too thick because as they shrink, they'll also increase in height. So you want them to be not too thick. I would say the size of your palm at the little dimple so it doesn't expand too much when being cooked. So these will be the ones that I'm putting later, that I'll make later this week, in the future. And these two are the ones I'm gonna make today for today's bento. Now the wieners, ideally you wanna get mini wieners or mini hot dogs. But I don't know what's going on with my Ralphs, but I could not find any minis. I couldn't even find like little smokies or anything. Ah! So 2 of these, and then we want the ends because we want that little, we want the little like circular shape for sure. And then the part that you cut, you want to do a cross section here. Make sure it's fully cut across, because when it cooks, it's going to spread out and create those little tentacles that the little boiled weenies have. Now, Shirogane had a little compartment of boiled vegetables, which I saw as potatoes and carrots. I'm not really a huge fan of this myself, but we're gonna add it in just to keep it as canon as possible. Like I said before, I'm only omitting one part of his like I said, this is inspired by his stuff. I want to keep as close as possible to what he made. I'm changing up a few things, such as the fact that I'm not going to be using ume paste or umeboshi paste on the rice. I'll be using a sheet of nori, just because I'm not a huge fan of umeboshi paste. I really don't like how acidic it is, my personal preference. But yeah, just chop up the vegetables into little pieces. We're gonna boil these for a few minutes. I'm not trying to like mash them. Here we got some boiling water. Just drop the vegetables in and just let them go for, I want to say 4 to 5 minutes. It's mainly the potatoes that need to be cooked through, so I'll keep an eye on that and check the tenderness in about 4 minutes. Alright, for the hambagus, we got a pan on medium-high heat, some oil. We're creating a nice sear on both sides. And ideally, you want to steam it down with wine. I don't have wine. Yeah, I didn't really plan this video though. Alright, we got some boiling water here. And just dump the weenies. Just dump the weenies in. Alternatively, you can pan fry these in some oil. You want some more crisp and char. But Shinomiya strictly said boiled weenies in the cutscene, so we're doing boiled weenies. For the eggs, we need 2 eggs. I realize I said eggs twice, but we need 2. Then you want a tablespoon of milk. Now from this point, you can do 2 things. If you want a savory tamagoyaki, you could add like some dashi, like dashi stock, or some like umami-ish stock, like maybe fortified like chicken stock or something. If you want a sweeter tamagoyaki, you can add a little bit of sugar in this point. I'm gonna do neither and just have it be regular egg because there's a lot of flavors going on. I don't really need one or the other. So you take some chopsticks, get the egg going, and then beat and mix. Alright, we start off with a little oil. Take a paper towel, spread it around the pan, wipe out any excess. We don't want too much oil going on here. And we just want to pour just enough to coat a thin layer at the bottom. Let me turn down extra oil. You want to try to sound like you're making a burrito. You want to fold in both sides and take the side closest to you and roll that in. If I can, it's kind of hard with these chopsticks. Come on. Use your hands if you want, if you can handle the heat. If not, don't worry too much about it. Pour in the layer again. Not gonna be the prettiest tamagoyaki, but I'll make do with what I got. So you wanna let it create the casing again. And ideally you wanna flip it all the way around. I'm gonna have to use a mixture of my chopsticks and spatula here, just because I kind of scuffed it a little bit. If you had one of those pans, I don't know what they're called, but they're like rectangular and they're designed for this stuff, it would be a lot easier. But since if you're using a circular pan like me, you're just gonna trim off these sides. You can eat it like right away. You put it in the bento, but if you want the aesthetics, you just trim off those sides. Twist the pan around, and any like leakage happens, you know it's not fully cooked. But it's looking pretty much fully cooked here, so we're gonna turn off the heat and move it to the cutting board, let it cool down just a little bit while we take care of everything else. So I just cut up the tamagoyaki. As you can see there, I'm not sure if you can see. I'll show you in a better clip later, but it's like rolled. It's what you want. So every bento is different. How you decide to form it is completely up to you. You just double check with this. Perfect. All right. So what I noticed with Shirogane's bento is that he's using lettuce as like a barrier between the bento and the products in pretty much every single case. I don't really care for that. Adds a little bit of color, but we're gonna do it anyways. Kind of create like a little bowl or ring. My bento will not be exactly like Shirogane's. Like I said, it's inspired, but the fact that he has a bigger one compared to me. Yeah, I think that's the second time I made this joke. We're just gonna make do with the spaces I have. My 2 hambagu patties. Just gonna put them in there nice, just a dollop of homemade tonkatsu sauce. Then we got some rice on the side. Normally, for him, he would put a piece, he put a dollop of umeboshi paste there. Not for me. I just don't like it. So at this point, we add in the boiled vegetables. Then we add in the pieces of the egg. I want to angle it, but it needs to like fit in the lid. I guess like for aesthetic purposes, I will not make it fit in the lid. But oh no, I made a mistake. I cut it into 5 pieces. I needed 6. No, recipe ruined. Okay, that's my bad. Does that work out? That'll work out. And then some cherry tomatoes. Yay, arts and crafts. Who says cooking can't be fun? And just put a sheet, or just like that. Press it down. And there we go. There's some empty space, which I could fill with something else. I could make more hot dogs. I fill it with some extra vegetables. But here we go. Let's bring it over to some better lighting. All right, so there we got the rice, the hambagu patties, the octopus weenies, cherry tomatoes, tamagoyaki, boiled vegetables. Then I'll throw up a picture of Shirogane's that I based off of, and let me know how I did. Bentos are meant to be made like pretty simply. They're lunches, to-go lunches. You don't want to be making anything super fancy. I mean, you could, but that's just a lot extra for you. A lot of these can be prepped ahead of times and just like warmed up and put into the bentos right before you go to work. Or you can just prep them and cook them really quickly. This took me about a total of an hour to prep and cook. If you prepped ahead of time and then cooked, 30 minutes max. Yeah, if you guys try it out, let me know what you guys think. If you guys want me to make something else, let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.